Hey, Howard here from 82 Maple and another episode in the saga of the little Chinese mini-excavator, little 1.8 ton machine, and I took it out this afternoon to test its ability on a hill. Had a tree to clear off the trail over here, and it did a great job. Crawled up the hill, a hill that is steep enough that I can just barely crawl up it with a two-wheel drive tractor with two good tires on it. Whoa. Downhill, whole nother story. Because it showed up in a video where I navigated a 1953 two-wheel drive tractor up here, and it might have looked scary and it might have looked dangerous, but I felt totally in control. Not so today. After I navigated this machine up this slope and a sister slope around the corner, removed a couple of logs that were across the trail, and turned around to come down. Holy cow. While it will sit here all day, even with the boom up and the blade up and not move an inch, when those levers go into the forward travel position, everything releases and it goes into freewheel mode. If you're not handy getting that boomstick down, whoa. It could end badly. There needs to be giant stickers and warnings. This machine is now relegated to flatland duties only. Too much fun.
Too much fun.
Hey, you know what? I need to apologize. Being this is a longer video, it should have been shot in landscape. But instead, what you just viewed was shot in portrait because it was meant to be a little short about an experience I had up on the hill, and it was shot within minutes of that experience happening. But as my day wound down yesterday, the full weight of what happened kind of sunk in on me. It was literally one of the scariest moments I've ever had, if not the scariest, in all of my years of equipment operating. And I'll tell you why, and then I'll give you a little bit of context. It was scary because it was completely unexpected. I've operated on side hills, I've operated in difficult situations, but I simply was not prepared for what happened. Maybe I should have been, but that's what this video is about. You see, I've been operating heavy equipment of some sort or another ever since I was 12 years old, starting out with my dad's 1953 Ferguson tractor, doing landscaping for neighbors, snow plowing with neighbors. My dad taught me and taught me well, and I went on by my, before I was even licensed to drive, I was operating a single axle dump truck for a couple of years off-road, and I went on to operate all sorts of heavy equipment. For 2 years straight, I operated a forklift with a 24,000 pound carrying capacity, carrying around 24-foot long slings of lumber, and it wasn't on pavement, and it wasn't on concrete. It was on uneven terrain. Many times we were navigating a bit of a hillside, a muddy hillside, going up, picking up a sling of lumber, navigating back down a slippery spring break up hillside, and getting that sling of lumber over to the dry kiln where it needed to be. And operating articulated loaders. At one point, I owned my own logging skidder and was navigating steep hillsides where I was grateful I had an 80-foot main line. We would take a road up around to the top of the hill, then hook up a drag of trees coming down, and literally have to let out all 80 feet of that main line to lower the skidder over a very steep embankment, and then reel it all in with the winch and get it down to the landing so they could load it on the next trucks heading out. You've also seen me operating all sorts of stuff around the little Harvey farm, all of which is to say, this is not my first rodeo. And as I was reflecting on this at the end of the day, it was kind of like, holy cow, Howard, if somebody other than you that didn't have decades of experience operating equipment had been in that situation yesterday, it could have ended up really, really badly for them. Yesterday, not crashing this machine and or getting injured was literally the cumulative experiences that I drew on out of 40 years or 50 years and jammed them into the 4 seconds that I had to deal with that situation. So let's talk about this. Here's what was unexpectedly scary about this situation. Like I just said, everything happened in about 4 seconds. But let me just back up a little bit. You know what? I'll set up the scene here. My boom was lowered so that the stick was, or the bucket was about 6 to 8 inches off the ground. On that slope, it should have been a little closer to the ground. My blade was probably 3.5, 4 inches off the ground. It should have been an inch or two off the ground. Not ideal for him, but certainly acceptable. And, but here's where the clock starts ticking. As I release the travel levers into forward position, instead of it progressing down the hill like I would have expected, and like I experienced, I had a prior mini-excavator and I navigated that hillside many times. There's trees falling across it all the time. They need to be cleaned up, and there's other things that need to be done up on that slope. But as I moved those levers forward, the machine literally went into freewheel. There was no holdback. Now, here's the thing about a mini-excavator. There are no brakes on a mini-excavator. It's set up so that as you go forward, you have a holdback on a slope, forward or backward or whatever. And there's a holdback. You're never progressing faster than what the throttle speed and the engine RPMs would otherwise dictate. And to have a machine suddenly go into freewheel, you know, it felt like it took my brain eons to react because it was that unexpected. It probably was a second. But you know what? That machine was picking up speed. And did you know that at 5 miles an hour, you're traveling 7 feet a second? I traveled 7 to 10 feet before I fully grasped what was happening and that I needed to take some other action. Fortunately, that on that machine, the controls are set up the same as Caterpillar, which is what I'm used to operating. And so my reflex was to lower the boom, and that was a reflex. I grabbed that lever, I dropped the bucket onto the earth, and at the same time as with my left hand, I was grabbing the swing because I was preparing to do some excavation along that trail before I parked the machine and got off to do a couple of things. And incidentally, I'd had the hydraulics locked out prior to getting on the machine. And remember that, because I'm going to come back to that in a couple of minutes. And so as I was dropping the bucket with my right hand, with my left hand, I was swinging the machine. I was probably 15 degrees off of square with the hillside as that was going into freewheel. And I had released the levers, but due to the slope, and this was all happening very, very fast, it wasn't completely stopped. And clearly, I didn't have the confidence at that moment that it was going to stop. I think it would have, given that I had released the levers, but I was working at the other controls as well. So there we have it, caught me completely off guard. The second thing that probably saved the situation, in addition to experience and me being familiar with the controls, was that I had my seatbelt on. That was probably the biggest single factor in saving me. Without that, at the point that I stopped with bucket down, having released the travel controls and a braking system kicking in, I would have been launched probably through the front windshield, but that was not the case. Again, when you come to a dead stop from something sounding as insignificant as 5 miles an hour, you get a real throw, and I've pasted in a link down below where an excavator operator doing something pretty benign almost gets thrown right off the front of the excavator and into the boom. Now, after I stopped the machine and my heart rate was at close to an all-time high, I proceeded very carefully and gingerly down the next 200 feet of the slope to where I shot the video that you just saw. And even navigating that, knowing that I had no holdback provision on my drive motor hydraulics, was, for me at least, a little bit harrowing. Of course, I did what you would probably do, kept the blade close to the ground, kept the bucket down to the extent that I was having to kind of drive it down the hill. But on a machine like this, you know what? I noticed the boom and the stick vibrating a bit with the pressure of that bucket being on the ground, and I knew I wasn't doing the boom, stick, and bucket any favors in navigating down the rest of that part of the slope. Now, I said there was 3 things that I was going to cover here. One was, number 1, we just covered, that was the completely unexpected nature. When you think you're going to start traversing at a very low speed down a slope and something goes into freewheel, yeah, that's an issue. Number 2 is that I'd mentioned that an excavator by its nature has no conventional brakes. Now, I navigate that slope again regularly with our ATVs, and they don't have any holdback, but they have a brake, a hand brake, a foot brake, something. But the excavator by its nature has no brakes, and so you've got to look for other resources to get that slowed down if you're freewheeling. The hydraulic lockout system on this machine is not designed in any fashion close to something like I'm used to. And my comments are not intended to malign Chinese mini-excavator imports, but rather to say maybe they just play by different rules in terms of the design of these machines, and one has to be prepared for that. Don't jump on a machine that isn't put out by one of the major manufacturers with any preconceived notions or assumptions. Test and check everything. That's probably the best piece of advice I can give to any buyer of a non-major imported machine. Okay, so back to our little scene here. I'd mentioned that prior to traversing the downhill grade back to home base, I had been out of the machine. Fortunately, when I came back into the machine, even though I've only used this machine for 4 hours, I had the presence of mind to activate full hydraulics. Here's what would have happened if I had not done that. I would have started down the hill using the forward travel controls. It would have gone into freewheel, which it did, and I wouldn't have had access to the boom or the swing mechanism. Like I said, I wasn't completely square to the hill when I started. I was good enough to proceed at a low speed. I wasn't good enough to be freewheeling, I can tell you that. And so because I had those other controls activated, I was able to swing and I was able to use my bucket all within seconds. And it just remains a giant mystery to me as to why the lockout doesn't work on the forward travel. Meaning you can jump into this machine, you can start to travel, and if something unexpected happens, you have no access to over half of your hydraulic controls for this. You know what? I have to just let you draw your conclusions on that. But if I had not kicked on my full hydraulics, with that switch, when I grabbed the handle to lower the bucket, I would have been grabbing a bucket full of absolutely nothing. There would have been zero response. That probably would not have had a fun ending. So what are the takeaways for you after viewing this? I'd love you to jump in with your comments down below. Here are a couple of my takeaways. You know what? Let's remember that small machines can be just as lethal as large machines. In the community that I'm living in right now, a very well-respected dentist was killed by his own riding lawnmower many, many years ago. Small machines doesn't mean low danger point. Number 2, don't assume, like I did, that all controls and operating systems are equivalent to any other machine you've ever been on. They're not. And this is your life and your limbs that we're talking about. So it behooves us to take great care around that. And number 3, you might recall that in episode number 2, I was maybe not whining, but certainly complaining a little bit about the travel speed of this unit being only 1 mile an hour. Well, it seems like yesterday cured that. I probably got up to at least 5 miles an hour on that little slope, so there we go. There was a win. You know what? 8 fingers and 2 thumbs here at 82 Maple that are a little older and wiser. And I hope that if nothing else, this little video helps you avoid an experience like I went through yesterday. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Let's do this.